Okay, after we start to print the picture, and we also already load the film to the powder processing system, and also the take-up device already load up. Then we can start to power on the powder supply system. We power on the general power switch and keep all the switch on. Then we can see the lower system start to load up. And then we start to load the hot melt powder to the power supply system. 可以了吗? Then we start to put the hot melt powder to the film. To the middle. We put about 5 centimeter thickness to be sure it have enough powder for shaking, equal for each position. 往前点嘛。来，拍这里。After we put the powder, hot melt powder on the processing system, then we start to open the powder supply system. We keep all the speed to middle. And then we go to see it start to shaking. The speed is dependent on, we must be sure the powder will not stick on the empty position. And also we turn on the top dusting system. The temperature for baking we put on 100 degree, and the dusting speed to middle, and the shaking speed to 20 to 15, about 15 degree, or keep open. And we double check to be sure the hot melt powder will not stick on the empty position, but stick on the white ink surface. After the powder shaking, the waste powder will spray to the bottom surface of this circulation box. So we take out the box. We can see the waste powder spray to here. We can use it for circulation using, but we must be sure it is clean. Then we put the powder back to the top circulation box. We open the box and we put back the powder for circulation using from the left to right. Then we put it back. And for equal using, we can also put a little bit more to the top, from left to right, to make the circulation using for equal shaking. And then we put the hot melt powder on the baking box, we must to be sure it have enough powder to spread out. Put full of the powder to here. Then we can see from here the powder is spread out. After we fill the hot melt powder for the dusting box, we can see the dusting system start working. And on the middle, at the bottom of the dusting box, we can see it start dusting. The hot melt powder spread out. So we must be sure the hot melt powder is spread out on the surface of the film. Then the waste hot melt powder go to the middle of the film. And we cannot put too much hot melt butter on the middle the first time. Just about 3 to 5 centimeter thickness. And then the waste ink powder, it go back to here. We can put the waste ink powder go to here, the box for recycle using. After the machine starts to print again, then the film continue to load to the powder supply system. So remember, we must put the powder to here and to here. And also the circulation powder, we put back to the dusting box to circulation using. And also we must be sure the baking system is working. We keep the 100 degree for baking. And if it still have the waste hot melt powder stick on the empty position, so we can make the powder strength, the shaking strength a little bit more. And if the powder cannot stick on the surface of the white ink, that means the powder strength, the shaking strength is too bigger, so we need to reduce. So just remember, if have the waste hot melt powder stick on the empty position, then we increase. And if the powder cannot stick on the white ink surface, then we increase to bigger. So this the shaking, the powder shaking speed. That also means the powder shaking strength. And this is for dusting. This is from here for dusting, like cycle using. And this is for the shaking. And this is for the baking temperature. And also here I have the cooling fan. It's from here. We open the cooling fan to make sure the film is clean and hot and become cold before we load up. So after print and go back to the hot melt processing system, then we can see the hot melt powder already baking right now. The baking system is working. And then after baking, we can see from the top the hot melt is stick on the surface equal. So we can see the picture result overlap and the hot melt powder are equal baking on the surface of the wet ink. And then go back to the dry fan and go back to the take up device. You can see the hot melt powder is at the baking ready. I also go back to the take up device